Anyway, Gary, good morning to you. It's afternoon here. How are you doing?
Thank you, Kim. I'm well, thank you. It's about 11:05 a.m. where I live in the Pacific coast of Central California. And it's an honor to be here. And thank you. I want to just also thank first Yoga Alliance for creating this opportunity for us at Viniyoga and also for all of you participants. I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. And thank you, Kim, for setting this up. And I also want to thank Bernadette, who is an active yoga teacher and yoga therapist and a graduate of American Viniyoga Institute's both teacher training and therapist training programs. And so thank you, Bernadette, for kindly offering to model for this class. And I want to say a few words before we begin and try to keep my talk right now to 4 minutes or so. So we have time for practice. I just want to explain to you what's going to happen now. We're going to do a Viniyoga practice. And we can do just an asana practice or an asana and pranayama practice, or we can use asana and pranayama to prepare for meditation. And in Viniyoga, we use a lot of chanting. And based on our discussion yesterday, the decision I made was to do an integrated practice, what we call a truly integrated practice that weaves together asana and pranayama and chanting and meditation. So this practice will be about an hour, maybe a little bit less, and it will include asana, pranayama, chanting, and meditation all woven together. And I'll just say a few quick words about it. Our style of asana practice is significantly different than most of what's out there in the modern yoga scene. We are not form-centric. We are much more breath-centric. So breath is the medium for the movement. I'll be guiding you in great detail throughout this practice, but we use adaptations of the forms of postures you may not be familiar with. So Bernadette will model, and the way we'll do it is that I will guide a few extra repetitions for each posture. So you can feel free to join from the beginning with Bernadette if you know this work already. And if you do not, watch her do the first, let's say, 2 movements before you begin to join in. So there'll be enough time for you to both watch and then join. Like I said, we use a lot of adaptation. The medium of the movement is the breathing, so it's not just coincidental, but the breath will be the thing that you'll follow, and the movement will follow your own breath. Also, we'll be using chanting in asana, which may be different for some of you, and then taking that mental chanting into our pranayama practice. We'll also be doing a visualization earlier in the practice. So 2 vignettes of asana, some movement, then a visualization, then asana and chanting, then take that into pranayama, and then end with our meditation. The last thing I'll say is that my friend Robin will put in the chat, the chant we'll be working with. And the chant came out of our discussion yesterday about Dharma. And there are only 3 words in the chant, although one of the words is used in 2 different forms. The first word is Om. The second word is Dharma, and in the form of the grammatical form will be Dharmaya. And you can see in the chat the explanation of that. I'll talk a bit about it in the midst of our practice, of course. And then Namaha. And that Namaha will be also in the form of Namo, and then also Namaha. Okay, so I think that with that as a start, and that was about 4 minutes, so that's perfect. We're going to highlight Bernadette and begin our practice. So what I'd like to ask you to do is please come to a supine posture. Now, I understand that I said you should be able to watch Bernadette. This is not going to be a movement initially, so please feel free to just lie down. And then when she moves on the back, I'll give you a heads up so you can actually also watch what she's doing if you're not familiar with it. So what we're going to do now is a few movements on the back. And then I'm going to take you through a visualization on your back before we then do some more asana, just so that you're aware. So lie down fully. This is not Shavasana. However, you want to establish a position where your feet are just slightly wider than your hips. Your arms are at your sides. For most people, palms up is Shavasana. Since we're not doing Shavasana, let's turn the palms down because we'll be doing some arm movement in a little while. And just close your eyes, please, and just internalize your attention. I'd like you to tune into your own inner mental environment. Pay attention to your attention. Just notice your state of mind. We say that they're following the Sankhya teachings of Kapila. There are 3 different qualities you might notice: a mild distraction. We could call that the Rajoguna, or maybe a little dullness or sleepiness. That would be Tamoguna. What we want to look for is that state of alert, mindful, present awareness. So just come into that state. And then we're going to just do a little connection of your attention to your physical body before we begin some simple movements. Feel the heels touching the floor. We're using the floor as a reference. And then notice that your ankles don't touch the floor. Your calves do, in fact, touch the floor. The backs of your knees, for the most part, do not touch the floor. And then, of course, at a certain point, your thighs and hips touch the floor. And then you can feel your sacrum perhaps in contact with the floor. And if you can, then you'll notice your lumbar spine, the curve of your low back rises off the floor, but your thoracic spine at a certain point touches the floor. And of course, your shoulders do as well. And you can feel your arms all the way down to your hands touching the floor. So this is just a little body scan. Move your awareness back up your arms. Notice your cervical spine, of course, does not touch the floor, but the back of your head touches the floor. And now bring your attention, please, to the tip of your nose and begin to gently but progressively deepen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. And please use that ujjayi, that soft contraction of the glottal muscles to make that sound, soft sound. An ujjayi that's soft, so soft you can hear it, but just barely. And use the next maybe half a dozen breaths to gently but progressively deepen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. I'll be giving you some specific guidance about how to control the breath as we move through the asana and into the pranayama. And again, Viniyoga has particular teachings about different ways of regulating your breath. And they're not one way, they're different ways depending upon the context of the practice. So I'll just guide what we're going to use in this practice. But for now, just lengthen the inhale, deepen it, and lengthen the exhale. And then listen as I describe what we'll do next. And you don't have to watch Bernadette for this, although it's very simple, but if you want to, you're welcome to. In a moment, and I will guide everybody together, and you'll see how I do it through all the postures. So don't do it now, but in a moment, I'm going to ask you to inhale. And as you inhale, I'm going to ask you to do one very simple movement, which is slowly through the full length of the inhale. It's a very tiny movement. Flex your left ankle, which means that you push your heel away from your sit bone. So here's how I'll do it. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, that means all of you right now, please, wherever you are in your breath cycle, please just inhale fully. Now take a full exhale. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to inhale. So now as you inhale, slowly flex your left ankle. Take the full length of the inhale, maybe 4, 5, or 6 second inhale to flex your left ankle so the heel pushes as far away as you can. And now as you, from your hip, and now as you exhale slowly, take the full exhale to relax your left ankle. I know it's a simple movement. Now do the next leg. Inhale, and as you inhale, flex your right ankle. Take a long inhale, just flex that ankle. And then nice long exhale, and take the full exhale to fully relax your ankle. I know this is silly for many of you. Trust me on this, please. Inhale, flex one more time. Flex the left ankle. Full extension. Exhale, relax the left ankle. You're following your own breath, but I'm kind of regulating it a little. Inhale, flex the right ankle. And as you exhale and relax it, listen, because the next thing we'll do is as you flex the left ankle, you'll raise your right arm straight over your head to the floor behind you. Okay, now inhale, Flex your left ankle as you raise your right arm all the way up over your head. This is called contralateral. It's about focused attention. Hold your breath after inhale, 2 seconds. Now exhale, lower your right arm as you simultaneously relax your left ankle, please. And now inhale, raise your left arm as you simultaneously flex your right ankle. Hold the breath after inhale, 2 seconds. Exhale, lower your left arm as you relax your right ankle. This is about attention. It's what we call contralateral. Do it one last time. Inhale, raise the right arm as you flex your left ankle. And now hold the breath after inhale, fully inhale 3 seconds. So 1 second longer only. Exhale, lower the right arm as you relax the left ankle. And then inhale, raise your left arm as you simultaneously flex your right ankle and hold the breath after inhale, 3 seconds. Exhale, lower your left arm as you relax your right ankle. And now inhale, raise both arms as you simultaneously flex both ankles and hold the breath after inhale, 4 seconds, stretching from your fingertips to your heels. Exhale, lower your arms as you simultaneously relax both ankles. And then one last time. Inhale, raise both arms, simultaneously flexing both ankles. Hold the breath 4. Exhale, lower both arms as you simultaneously relax both ankles. And then rest a moment. So this should just sharpen your attention because of the contralateral nature of that posture. And the next posture will do also a contralateral adaptation in. So please bend your knees and place your feet comfortably close to your sit bones, about sit bone width apart, and palms down at your sides. This is called Dvi. In our tradition, we call this Dvipada Pittam, but we're going to do a specialized arm adaptation. So if you want, just if you can turn your head and see the screen, watch Bernadette. She's going to not raise her pelvis first. She's going to inhale, raise both arms until they're perpendicular to the floor. Go ahead and inhale, Bernadette, and then continue raising her left arm all the way to the floor behind her head. So she's intentionally stopping the right arm. Now watch when she exhales, she lowers her left arm, and when they're parallel, she continues smoothly lowering both arms to the floor. And then I won't have her demonstrate, but she'll do the other side. But here's the posture. So Bernadette, as you inhale, raise your pelvis, lift both arms halfway, continue raising the left arm all the way. And she raises her pelvis until the back of the neck is kind of flattened into the floor. And then as she exhales, she starts to come down, lowers her left arm. When they're parallel, she continues lowering lowers both arms to the floor, palms touch. When the sacrum touches, when the exhale's over. Take a free breath, Bernadette. Thank you. So we're going to do that in a moment. This contralateral requires attention to integrate the pelvic movement, the breathing, and the unusual arm movement. So with your feet comfortably close to your sit bones, palms on the floor, arms at your sides, wherever you are, we'll begin now, wherever you are in your own breath cycle, inhale fully, just in position. Now exhale. Now please inhale, press on your feet, raise your pelvis, raise both arms halfway, bring your left arm all the way up to the floor behind you. Pushes your pelvis high so you feel the back of the neck press in gently into the floor. Now start to exhale, start to lower your pelvis as you lower the left arm. When both arms are parallel, continue returning to the starting point. And then inhale, press on your feet, raise the pelvis, both arms halfway, right arm all the way this time. So you switch to the other side. Exhale, lower the right arm. When they're parallel, start also lowering the pelvis. Sacrum, touch the floor when palms touch the floor, when exhale's over. Let's do another round. Inhale, raise the pelvis, both arms halfway, left arm all the way. And now hold the breath after inhale, 2 or 3 seconds, pushing a little higher. Exhale down, lower the left arm and pelvis. When arms are parallel, smoothly lower both arms to the floor, please. I know this is different for many of you. Inhale, raise the pelvis, both arms halfway, right arm all the way. Pause, 2 or 3 seconds, and then exhale all the way down. And because we have visualization and meditation, I'm going to move a little forward now. Now just do it last round, both arms. Raise the pelvis, raise both arms, and then hold at the end of the inhale when the pelvis is up and the hands are on the floor behind you. Hold about 3 or 4 seconds, pushing a little higher, exhale down. And then one last time. Excellent. Hold 3 or 4 seconds. And then exhale down. Lower the arms. And pause a moment. Now we're going to do a visualization. So take a moment and just hug your knees, just to make sure your low back is kind of comfortable on the floor. And then we're going to lie flat again in the starting position. It's not Shavasana, so turn your palms down. If you need a bolster under your knees, feel free to use that. Otherwise, we'll be here for maybe 4 minutes. It's a guided visualization. It's not a Shavasana. And so we're going to begin right away so that we have time to do this fully integrated practice. I'd like you to just lie flat and close your eyes and then use your imagination. Some of you have more experience with visualization, so you may actually visually see something, or it may be just in your mind's imagination. Visualize that you're in a forest, in the mountains. And actually what can support your visualization is not only seeing, imagine you're seeing the forest, but smelling the pine needles, feeling the breeze on your skin, maybe hearing some bird sounds. So multisensory supports a visualization. Maybe see the light coming through the trees and imagine that you're walking in the forest up the hill, just like a gentle hill. And as you walk up the hill, you hear sounds like water sounds, like a bubbling spring. Maybe you can sense a little more humidity in the air. And so see yourself walking up to this bubbling spring, and you look above it and there's nothing above it. And you realize that that water is just bubbling up from the earth. So see the water. In fact, kneel down in front of this spring and see the crystal clear purity of that water. You can sense the humidity, see the purity and clarity of the water. And as you look at this spring, see that spring, that mountain spring bubbling up from the mystery of the earth as a symbol of the mystery of your own birth. The water emerging from the depths of the mystery of the earth, just as you emerged from the depth and mystery of your mother's womb. Pure water, crystal clear. As you emerge from your mother's womb as that pure, clear, innocent child, certainly with needs, but aware, open, curious. And then after the trauma of birth, of course, excuse me, joyful. So see that bubbling spring as the symbol of your own birth. And as you look at the spring, notice a small stream emerging from the spring, and think about that stream as your earliest childhood memories. Be gentle with yourself. Some of us can go way back, some not. Some of us have some traumatic experiences. So just be gentle with yourself, but go back into your earliest childhood memories, and you can see yourself standing up and walking now a little downhill, following this little stream emerging from the spring. And as you walk down the hill, following the stream, notice the stream is widening. And that's a symbol of you growing in your experience, first as an infant and then as a toddler. And notice as you're walking down the stream that there are things that fall into the stream that are being carried by the water. Leaves, maybe little twigs that are mixing with the pure water. And recognize that these represent how you picked up residue from your life experience, both cognitive residue, ideas, emotional residues. So that pure water that emerged from the spring is now mixed with leaves and twigs and maybe a little dirt as you walk down the stream. And that symbolizes your own growing experience and your own accumulation of samskara, your patterning, your conditioning. So follow the stream down the hill, remembering as best as you can the joys of your early childhood. And as well, again, be gentle with yourself, the challenges. As you do these meditations over time, different things emerge, of course. Remembering when you met your first childhood friends, continue walking down that stream, how you formed your own self-concept, your sense of self, as you went to school and engaged in your society, your social life, moving all the way from that moment of birth through into, let's say, adolescence, and then into young adulthood, where the stream merges with what I like to call the river of your life. And as you move into the river of your life, moving yourself from adolescence into adulthood, continue following your memories and notice the stream, the water isn't so clear anymore. So again, you've accumulated patterns and conditioning from your life experiences forms your samskaras, your tendencies. As you're moving down the river of your adult life till this present moment, reflect briefly on choices you've made that have led you to where you are right now in this moment in time and space. And again, over time, if you do this meditation, different memories will arise, different moments on your life journey will arise where you can see that you've made choices that change the course of your life. Recognize that the choices you made were driven by a mixture of external influences around you as you grew up, the environment you grew up in, your family and your society, your community. And there were internal influences, including your own identification and attachment to your own sense of self and the world around you. And there were unseen, deeper patterns of and conditioning that you brought with you perhaps into this life that shaped your perceived needs, your perceived desires and interests. See if you can make this as real as possible. And recognize that even now that there's been and there continues to be an underlying, ongoing narrative that you tell yourself about yourself, your self-definition, your self-concept, an ongoing narrative that you tell yourself about yourself, but also about the world around you, and an ongoing series of feelings and emotions that influence the choices you make, your behavior and your action in the world as you move down the river of your own life. Now, I'd like you to just deepen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. And then when you're ready, stretch your bodies a bit and come to a seated meditation posture for a moment. And so take a moment and transition to that seated position, and you'll see Bernadette do that. And I'm going to introduce you to the chant that will take into our asana practice. So come to a comfortable seated meditation posture. And close your eyes once again for a moment. And bring your attention back to your attention. And once again, like I started at the very beginning, come to that state of relaxed, mindful, present awareness. And even cognize where you are in time and space. And actually, let's extend that to not just your current literal place in time and space, but where you are in your own personal current life situation, including your family relationships, your work relationships. And just kind of come to that present awareness. And I'll describe what we're going to do next. What we're going to do next is we'll create a chanting breathing exercise. So what will happen is when I chant, you'll be inhaling, And then when I chant the same thing again, you'll be exhaling and chanting with me what I just chanted. Now you're only going to hear me, but if your eyes are open, you'll notice that Bernadette will be chanting, although she's muted, and you'll all be muted, so you'll only hear me. So we're going to begin now. So wherever you are in your own breath cycle, please inhale fully. And now exhale. And when you hear me chant, you please inhale. And listen to what I say and how long I say it. Here we go. Om. Now chant with me as you exhale. Om. Inhale. Om Namaha. Exhale, chant with me. Om Namaha. Inhale. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Together. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Inhale. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Together. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. It'll be shorter. Inhale. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Together. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Inhale. Om Namaha. Together. Om Namaha. Once more. Inhale. Om. And together. Om. And relax your breath. Feel the vibration. We're going to take this chant into our practice. Om invokes your pure awareness, that being who was that pure water in the mountain spring. Dharma, in this context, for this practice, and you have translations in the chat, represents what supports you in your life and your responsibility to yourself, to your family and society, to the world around you, to the planet, and to the divine. Namaha is your reverence, honoring, and commitment to do your best, to appreciate the gift of this life, and dedicate yourself to fulfilling your Dharma. So we're going to come to the knees, the standing on the knees, and we're going to do a contralateral movement. So I want Bernadette to demonstrate it. You can join if you understand it. I'll have her do it. Let me explain what she's going to do. I'll chant, and she's going to inhale, sweep her arms out to the side and over her head. And then she'll chant and bend forward with the arms in this contralateral mode. So I'll guide you, Bernadette. You guys can watch her now. She'll do twice, and then you can please join. Wherever you are in your own breath cycle, Bernadette, please inhale fully. And now exhale. When I chant, you inhale, sweep both arms out to your side over your head. Om Namaha. When I chant, you chant with me and bend forward, sweeping one arm, the other forward, one arm behind you, the other forward. Om Namaha. See, one arm is behind her back. Now when I chant, she's going to come up. Watch what she does with her arms. Om Namaha. Now she's going to do the other side. Om Namaha. When I chant, she'll come back up. Om Namaha. And now just stay there. Exhale, lower your arms, Bernadette. So please join. So when you're going to lower your arms, Bernadette, you guys please join now. When you bend forward, you're sweeping one arm behind you, pushing the other forward as you chant, as you exhale. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, please inhale fully. And now exhale. When I chant, raise your arms out to your side and over your head. Om Namaha. Bend forward, exhale, and chant with me, sweeping one arm behind the other forward. Om Namaha. When I chant, come up. Om, and inhale. Namaha. And now go down. Om. The other side. Namaha. When I chant, come up. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Chant and go down. Om Dharmaya Namaha. When I chant, come up. Om Dharmaya Namaha. The other side. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Now inhale up. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Sweep both arms behind you as you chant on exhale. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Come up. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. One last time. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Just rest down there. I know there's a learning curve to this kind of practice. You can sit up now, Bernadette, and everyone, please sit up. Just relax a moment. Thank you for doing your best with this. Now, the next posture, you can stay where you are as Bernadette stands. We're turning Virabhadrasana into a ritual, a gesture. We call it nyasa. So she's going to have her left foot forward and her right foot back. And she's going to use her arms like a gesture. So start with your arms on your heart. Let's start with your arms on your heart. And then when I chant, she's going to inhale, bend her front knee and gesture with her arms up towards the source of Dharma, let's say, as symbolically above her. So go ahead, Bernadette, wherever you are in your breath cycle, inhale fully. And now exhale. And when I chant, inhale into position. Om Namaha. Watch what she does with her hands. Now she's going to exhale and chant with me. Om Namaha. From her crown, her hands come to her heart. When I chant, she goes inhale up again. Om Dharmaya Namaha. She's staying in the posture, bent knee. Chant. Om Dharmaya Namaha. And the last time, Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. And here she's going to straighten her leg and come out of it. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Pause. So let's do that. Put your hands on your heart. I apologize. Stand. Left foot forward, right foot back, hands on your heart. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, inhale fully. And now exhale. When you hear me chant, move into Virabhadrasana, but use your arms like a gesture reaching to source. Om Namaha. As you chant, bring your palms through your crown to your heart. Om Namaha. When I chant, arms back up. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Exhale. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Full inhale. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Straighten the leg as you come out of it. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Pause a moment. Bring your feet together. You can keep your hands on your heart for just a moment. Bring your feet together. Just feel it, the meaning that you're committing to that Dharma, and you're grateful for the gift of this life. Switch legs now. Put the right foot forward, left foot back, and you can return your hands to your heart. Now, wherever you are in your breath cycle, please inhale fully. And now exhale. When I chant, bend your front knee as you bring your arms forward and up into the gesture. Okay, let's start over again. Go ahead and inhale fully now. Sorry about that. And now exhale. When I chant, move into the posture as you inhale. Om Namaha. Exhale, hands to heart. Chant. Om Namaha. The knee stays bent. You're in the posture. Another 2 breaths. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Chant. Om Dharmaya namaha. Inhale. Om Dharmaya namo namaha. Chant. Om, straighten your leg. Dharmaya namo namaha. Hands on your heart. Wait a moment. Bring your feet together. Pause. Feel the spirit of this. Lower your arms. We're going to come to our hands and knees and do a combination of what we could call child's pose and downward dog. So Bernadette will do it with the chant, and you can join or follow, watch her, and then we'll do it a couple times together. So go down to child's pose, Bernadette, please. When I chant, she's going to inhale forward, and you can watch. Om Namaha. She's going to hold her breath, curl her feet, and she'll chant with me to downward dog. Om Namaha. When I chant, she'll come back down to the previous position. Om Namaha. Uncurl the feet and chant as she goes back to child's pose. Om Namaha. So come to child's pose like Bernadette is now. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, please inhale fully. And now exhale. When I chant, come forward into what we call Chakravakasana, hands and knees. Om Namaha. Pause, curl your feet, chant to downward dog. Om Namaha. Chant down to your knees, or inhale down to your knees. Om Namaha. So uncurl the feet. Chant now the child's pose. Om Namaha. When I chant, come forward. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Please chant the downward dog. Om Dharmaya Namaha. When I chant, come down to your knees. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Chant the child's pose. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Last time. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Chant the downward dog. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Down to your knees. Inhale. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. And last time, chant the child's pose. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Rest there. Looking at the clock, we're going to just move on in this practice. I'll eliminate quite a few things that we did so we can end on time, more or less. Please come to a seated position. I had planned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more asana, but respecting the time, we're going to move into what I call GPS. So come to a comfortable seated position where you can be for the duration of the practice. We will do pranayama and meditation. So the GPS, you guys, I'm sure know, in fact, what a GPS is, and I'm sure you have one. And this is a dharana technique, a technique for focusing attention. And there's 2 parts to it, maybe 3 parts. The first part is sensory awareness. The first and second part are sensory awareness techniques. The third part's a little bit of a visualization. So I'll guide it now. So just follow what I'm saying and close your eyes. And now bring your attention to the point above your nose, between your eyes. And what you're doing is listening for sensory signals returning to your brain from that part of your body. So you'll feel like a little tingling above your nose between your eyes. So we're just beginning now. So just wait till you feel those signals returning to your brain, and then drop your attention now to the pit of your throat. And wait until your mind settles in the pit of your throat. We're in the front part of the body now. Listen for the vibration once your mind settles. And when you can differentiate those signals returning to your brain, connect to them, and then drop your attention to the region of your solar plexus. And we're moving quickly like skipping stones across the water. Wait till your mind settles in the region of your solar plexus. Listen for vibration. When you feel it, connect, and then drop your attention to your navel. And I'll just say that this GPS is to get us to the central channel, an important symbol in esoteric inner yogic and tantric yogic teachings. Wait till your mind settles on your navel. Listen for vibration when you feel it. Connect and drop your attention 2 inches approximately midway between the navel and the pubic bone, a couple inches below the navel. And again, wait, your mind will settle. Listen for vibration. When you feel it, connect, and then go down to the perineal floor. The root, wait till you perceive signals returning to your brain as you feel them connect. And then move your attention. Now we're going up the back corresponding point, still sensory awareness. Let your mind settle in your sacrum, across from that point midway between navel and pubic bone. Wait, listen for vibration. When you feel it, connect. Continue your journey into the mid-lumbar across from the navel, in your back. Wait till your mind settles. Listen for vibration. When you feel it, connect. Continue your attention up the top of thoracic, up the top of lumbar, mid-thoracic, across from the solar plexus, my fault there. Wait till your mind settles in your mid-thoracic. Listen for vibration. When you feel it, connect. And continue the journey to the top of your thoracic, across from the pit of the throat, base of the cervical. Wait, listen. As you feel it, connect. And then move up your cervical spine to your brainstem. Atlas axis region across from the point above the nose between the eyes. Again, wait, listen for vibration. When you feel it, connect. Now up to the crown. Now, this is the first part of the visualization. Draw an imaginary axis from your crown to your root, straight through the center of your body. And then on your own, we're going to use the breath as a way of opening the path. It's a visualization of the central channel. So inhale, breathe from your crown to the center of your head, and then exhale back up. There's short breaths, 2 or 3 short breaths, crown to the center of your head, exhale back up. And as it starts happening, breathe crown past the center of your head to the middle of your throat, the midpoint between the front and back points. Exhale back up. So feel like you're using the breath to open the path from the crown to the middle of your throat, and then exhale back up, and then crown to the middle of your chest. It's a visualization, it takes time to deepen. Exhale from the middle of your chest back up to your crown. You're following your own breath. As you move down these points, the breaths get a little deeper. So crown to the middle of your chest, that's the heart chakra. Exhale back up. In the central channel, crown to the third chakra in the middle, behind the navel, in front of the mid-lumbar, exhaling back up. On your own, just try to create it. Again, this takes time. It gets profound if you practice it over time. Then crown to the second chakra in the middle. Exhale back up to crown. Do it a couple of breaths. This is the point midway between the navel and the pubic bone, in the back, in the front and the back, in front of the sacrum. Exhale back up, and then crown to root. So do inhale, crown to root. Exhale, root to crown. While I describe what's next, it'll be just a central channel breathing with mantra. So you'll be bringing the mantra that we chanted into the central channel. We won't do many breaths because I want to have time for our meditation. So wherever you are in your breath cycle now, we're going to do it. Inhale, crown to root. And then exhale, root to crown. And then when I chant, you're mentally chanting with me during all 4 parts of the breath. So I'll describe it. You do it with me. Ready? Here we go. Inhale, crown to root, mentally chanting with me. Om. Hold your breath in your root, mentally chanting. Om. Exhale to the crown, mentally chanting. Om. Hold your breath in your crown, mentally chanting. Om. Inhale, crown to root. Om Namaha. Hold in the root. Om Namaha. Exhale to the crown. Om Namaha. Hold in the crown. Om Namaha. Inhale to the root. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Hold in the root. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Exhale to the crown. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Holding the crown. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Inhale. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Holding the root. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Exhale, crown. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Holding the crown. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Inhale, root. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Holding the root. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Exhale, crown. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Holding the crown. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Two more breaths. Inhale. Om Namaha. Holding the root. Om Namaha. Exhale, crown. Om Namaha. Suspending the crown. Om Namaha. Last breath. Inhale. Om. Hold. Om. Exhale. Om. Holding the crown. Om. Relax the breath. Please stay inwardly focused, sort of in that central channel. Just feel like space is opening in the core of your being. And please drop your attention to your heart, and we'll do our meditation. So cognize where you are literally now in time and space, but also not just in time and space, but as I said earlier, in your current life situation, including, of course, your relationships, family relationships, social connections, work relationships. Just take in what's going on in your life. And listen to these teachings. The ancients, the Vedic rishis and the teachers that followed tell us that we're not our story. We're not our narrative, the story we tell ourselves about ourselves, nor are we our changing feelings and emotions. And actually, we're not even our actions in the world. The ancients affirm that we are, in essence, that very same being of pure awareness, symbolized by the clear water emerging from the mystery of the earth in that mountain spring, which was the beginning of our visualization. The ancients proclaim that that pure water, which is our own true nature, pure consciousness, is our unchanging reality even now, unencumbered by the world of name and form. The ancients called that nama rupa prapancha. Who we truly are is that pure awareness, unbound by circumstance, time, and space. The ancients called that true nature Ātman. Patañjali uses the word Purusha. The ancient Vedic term is Ātman. So in this moment, on your journey down the river of your own life, as best as you're able, please come fully into this present moment, reflecting deeply on this teaching that your true nature is the unchanging source of pure awareness, what the ancients called Sat Chit Ananda. That's all of our names. That's our true nature. Take a moment to just come into that pure present awareness. And see the reality that this river of life, guess what? It's flowing inexorably to the ocean, where and when all of us must release all that we've created in the world of name and form, even our bodies, as we merge back as the ancients tell us, with the source from whence we came. So in light of this reality and considering where you are now in your current life, reflect on what's most important to you right now in your life. What's most precious to you? And in light of that same reality, consider what's most important for you going forward as you move down the river of life before you merge back with the ocean and return to source. I was taught that it is with this clarity of mind that we can make the best choices for ourselves so that we can reach the end of life with a sense of fulfillment, a sense of gratitude, and maybe even a sense of curiosity about what's next. And if you're willing now, if you've heard what I'm asking you to do, commit to an ongoing, if you're willing, reflection on this truth, this reality of impermanence, and this reality of what's most precious and important to you, your true Dharma or your Svadharma, and commit to letting your choices as you move forward be informed by the remembrance of these teachings and this truth as you navigate the remainder of your own life's journey. And in a moment, I will chant, and you can chant with me, not call and response, but just chant with me as a way of coming out of the practice. And we'll start with the 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4 words, and then 3 and 2 and 1. So when I chant, just join me softly, of course. Om. Om Namaha. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Om Dharmaya Namo Namaha. Om Dharmaya Namaha. Om Namaha. Om. Our practice is now complete, but just take a moment to sort of emerge from this inner space. This was an example of an integrated practice that draws on asana, pranayama, chanting, and meditation. It is a more advanced kind of practice, of course. Often we just do simple asana or asana and pranayama. But I had this unique opportunity, and my gratitude to Yoga Alliance for creating this, to share with you some of the deeper work that I learned in my 45 years of study practice and relationship with Krishnamacharya and Deskachar. So thank you for joining this experience with me.
Thank you so much, Gary. That was amazing. And we have questions coming in. Yes, it was so beautiful. Tomorrow, by the way, Bernadette and I are going to be live on my handle weeks.well to talk about this practice. I have so many questions and feel so lucky that I can partially practice as I'm also watching the Q&A. So I can't wait, Bernadette, to talk to you. And Gary, thank you so much. I see this conversation between Bernadette and me is like, you know, she's studied with a master, as have I. We're this sort of second generation behind you and doing the best we can to hold up the practice of yoga. So it's just, yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the only thing I will make sure you hear is, and I said it
Yeah.
earlier, that I had planned 5 more asanas, so it would have been a
Yeah.
stronger.
Tell us about
practice.
that, will you? Yeah, would you please? Yeah, please
Well,
break that
so,
down.
let me just say in a few words that, the spine moves in 5 ways.
Mhm.
A forward bending, backward bending, twisting, lateral flexion, and what we call axial extension, which increases vertical alignment. And so the practice that I planned included all 5 movements, directions of movement, and then of course standing, kneeling, lying on the stomach, which we didn't do, lying on the back, which we didn't do, and then seated. And now, of course, the practice that I planned did not include inversion, but an integrated practice may include all those directions woven into all those positions, and it just gives a more full bodily experience. But I felt like I wanted to end on time, respecting we ended at noon, in California, excuse me.
Yeah.
And we were able to get enough of the use of the asana to give you the idea. Had we had 30 more minutes, it was a full hour and a half practice, then we would have accomplished a little bit more in the physical. And what that would have done is just taken the chant deeper into your system and created that sort of preparation for a deeper inner meditation.
Totally. Yeah, I understand. Could you quickly, as I look over the questions, let us know what the sequence, to the best of your memory, would have been? Would have been Virabhadrasana 1 and then?
Yeah, no, well, we don't call it that, but yes. So
okay, yeah, please call
I
it
have
what
it.
you
So
want.
after the Virabhadrasana, after the downward dog, we would have gone onto the stomach and done a contralateral adaptation of Ardha Shalabhasana, followed by a contralateral adaptation of the supine. That's on the stomach, the previous Shalabhasana. Then on the back, we would have raised the one leg and the opposite arm, so Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, followed by a supine twist, Jatara Parivritti, and then actually a seated twist, Sukhasana Parivritti, and then Paschimottanasana. So there was quite a few asanas but I just decided that I wanted to give you the full experience.
Yeah.
Less about the asana and more about the total. But if you go deeper into the asana, it just gives you deeper preparation for the meditation.
Yeah, totally. You know, a question came up between Trisha and I actually during the, we were both sort of would love to hear you talk a little bit about the beginning of the visualization, in which you said explicitly, this is not Shavasana, it's not at all. So can you explain a little bit about that? Why that was not Shavasana?
Yeah. Shava means corpse. So Shavasana is intentionally a not doing. Visualization is an active process.
Yeah.
And so with Shavasana, there's no doing. You can have a guided relaxation to prepare for Shavasana, but it isn't Shavasana. What we were doing was at the beginning of the practice, a guided visualization to set the context, what we call the bhavana of the practice. So the idea of the mystery of our birth, when we were that pure, innocent, like if you see the eyes of an infant that is open and curious and glowing, we all came in that way, like the symbol of the water emerging from the depths of the earth, that pure water. We all still are that. Yeah. The stream, and by the river, it has lots of things added to the water, but the pure water is still there. Our pure consciousness is still here, but it's overlaid with our conditioning and our narrative and our emotions and our experience. Yeah. And so that's what this meditation is about.
I have a question. You know, there are not actually any open questions, so I may just ask another one that came up for me. How do your, I mean, I know you're going to say it depends, but can you summarize at all? Like, if someone has trauma, like in any of those moments in time that you demarcated, like birth or childhood, or like even recent decisions, or, you know, what would you suggest about that?
Well, so first of all, I want to make sure that that I express very clearly that trauma, we all have some degree of trauma, but there are traumas that impact our ability to function on a day-to-day basis. And so depending upon the severity of the trauma, this kind of work, you need to be in contact with a licensed Western mental health care professional. And then our work can be very supportive. I've worked with many clients over the years that have suffered from mild to severe traumas, including traumas that are associated also with traumatic brain injury. So that's a whole other specialty. But the thing is that if you have enough sort of mindful awareness to recognize that you have a responsibility in helping yourself manage these conditions and move through them, then when you do these practices, different memories will come up. And sometimes people that don't even remember traumatic experiences, things come up. And the key is to stay present and stay with the breath and use the chants and connect with sources that are nourishing and inspirational. And then if you really need it, seek out professional mental health care.
I will say that there's a couple things coming up. People are saying so many said, I mean, there was a flood of, this was so beautiful. I feel whole again. I feel so clear. It just that I'm sure you'll see it all in the chat. But it did occur to me, having had some of these experiences myself, that it's like a shamanic journey that you took us on. I really felt like you were,
this is yoga. Can I say that carefully? I mean, I want to say it respectfully, because as I said, I use asana to deal with low back pain, my own or others, and that's totally valid. And using asana to help you sleep, and that's it. It's totally valid. Or using asana to learn to do handstand, totally valid. But this integrated practice is what we're taught is the highest form of yoga that helps you work at a multidimensional level and prepare yourself for meeting source at the end of life and finding fulfillment and contentment.
It's beautiful. I definitely, So I'm just going to wrap it then and say thank you so much. People had just said it was a lovely practice. And Gary, what can I say? It's just great to be with you and to spend time with you. And, these master classes, even though there have only been 2, are a reminder to all of you that these people we're bringing to you, Yoga Alliance. I'm so delighted to be with Yoga Alliance as it brings you this quality programming. These people have been studying and reflecting, Gary's case, more than 40 years of deep, daily, regular, shamanic practice, basically. What can I say?
Let me please I want to thank Bernadette once again for the modeling. And I want to thank my team, Robin in particular, who's behind the scenes, and Kim, thank you for this brainstorm. We call this Sankalpa, that inspiration to create this. And thank you, Yoga Alliance, for your hard work on behalf of yoga and behalf of the community of practitioners. Thank you.
Namaste to everybody. Well, I hope to see you August 18th and 19th. Pritpal Parkalsa will be here to talk to me about Kundalini teaching and practicing back-to-back days, just like Gary. So I really hope you stay connected with us and do it. And join Bernadette and me tomorrow as we break down. I've got some shamanic questions. Take care, Gary. I hope I see you soon.
All the best,
Bye-bye, everybody.
Everyone.